That was my main goal, you know what I mean?
Welcome to Retrover, where we break down the biggest pop culture drama and hidden truths. So make sure you hit subscribe and join the conversation. Marc Anthony stayed quiet while the Beckham family drama splashed across every headline. But that silence is over now. He finally spoke up. And what he said just flipped the whole narrative on its head. The singer called the situation extremely unfortunate, but then he slid in a serious twist. He hinted that the story the public has been fed isn't even close to the real deal. That is not a small comment. That is a direct signal that something deeper is going on behind closed doors. This is more than subtle shade. This is a bold challenge. His words quietly push back against Brooklyn Beckham's emotional statement about his parents, the wedding dance chaos, and all the fallout that followed. What started as a private family clash has now leveled up into a full-blown credibility battle. It is no longer just about hurt feelings. It is about who is telling the truth and who is shaping the narrative.
They follow you. If they believe in you, it's based on what you represent. And
yes.
When someone close to the inner circle steps out and questions the official version of events, everything shifts. The public starts looking twice, replaying every detail, wondering what really happened. This is not just gossip anymore. This is about trust and reputation. And when big names are involved, every sentence carries weight. People are choosing sides, and the pressure is building fast. The fire really sparked after Brooklyn Beckham dropped a 6-page Instagram statement, cutting ties with his famous parents, David and Victoria Beckham. In that post, he accused his mum of stepping into his first dance with Nicola Peltz at their 2022 wedding. He claimed she took what was meant to be a private, heartfelt moment and turned it into something embarrassing in front of everyone. That accusation alone shook the image of the picture-perfect family. And now with Marc Anthony speaking up, the whole story feels even more complicated. Brooklyn said he felt embarrassed, anxious, and stuck under his parents' control for most of his life. That one wedding moment might have looked small from the outside, but for him, it carried years of built-up tension. It was not just about a dance. It was about feeling unheard and overshadowed. And now that Marc Anthony has stepped into the spotlight with his own comments, the polished Beckham family image is starting to show serious cracks. He once admitted, I just stressed a lot more before because I was proving myself. And when you find yourself in a position, well, you don't have to prove anything.
The reaction has been just unbelievable. We started a tour last year. It was supposed to end in December.
That statement hits different now. It sounds like someone who felt constant pressure, always trying to measure up. What was meant to be a night full of love and celebration suddenly turned into the trigger for a very public family clash. The kind of drama headlines live for. The 2022 wedding reception refuses to fade away. It keeps resurfacing like an unfinished chapter, and every time it does, the tension feels thicker. According to Brooklyn's version, Marc Anthony called him up on stage right when guests were expecting that sweet traditional first dance with Nicola Peltz. Everyone was ready for that spotlight moment. The romantic scene planned weeks in advance. Cameras were up, eyes locked in, waiting for that fairy tale vibe. Then came the twist no one saw coming. In what many describe as a jaw-dropping move, Marc allegedly invited the most beautiful woman in the room to join him. But it was not Nicola, it was Victoria Beckham who stepped forward. The energy in the room reportedly shifted in seconds, and what should have been a private, emotional moment for the newlyweds turned into something way more complicated. From that second on, the mood changed, and the fallout has not stopped since. Victoria and David have always been seen as charming and funny. People even said about one of their ads, "That's best thing I've ever seen. Best thing you've ever seen." Are they always that funny? Yes, they're hysterical. She's hysterical. They're both hysterical, but she is so funny. And that commercial killed me. I was like, they deserve an Oscar for that commercial. That kind of praise built this image of them as the perfect playful power couple. So when the wedding drama hit, it clashed hard with that polished vibe. Some guests claimed the dance moment felt spontaneous and sweet, just a warm family interaction. Others said it was straight up awkward and uncomfortable to watch. Brooklyn later admitted he felt humiliated, caught off guard, and deeply embarrassed. Witnesses tried to calm it down, saying it was bad timing, not bad intentions. But then Nicola's reaction shifted the tone completely. She reportedly walked out looking upset, even in tears. That single detail made the whole situation feel heavier and way more serious. Suddenly, it was not just about a dance anymore. It turned into a breaking point loaded with emotion. What should have been pure celebration started looking like a symbol of deeper tension and old frustrations. And here is the wild part. Every version of the story still clashes. No one is fully lining up, and the truth feels like it is floating somewhere in the middle. Then DJ Fat Tony, the man running the music that night, and someone close to the Beckham circle, stepped in with his own take. He did not dismiss Brooklyn's feelings at all. He admitted the timing was off, and that the moment did pull focus from the bride and groom. But he also warned people not to stretch it into something bigger than it was. According to Tony, there was no explosive scene, no shouting match, just an awkward scheduling slip that snowballed into global gossip. DJ Fat Tony made it clear that context mattered more than intent, and then he dropped a detail that changes the whole angle. He reminded everyone that Marc Anthony was the one controlling the stage at that exact moment. That small fact flips the focus fast. It suggests Victoria stepping forward may not have been some calculated power play at all, but simply the event drifting off script in real time. When you look at it like that, the narrative starts to wobble. There is also this mindset floating around about handling chaos. Any challenges that come up, whether it's production, whether it's life, whether it's this going, I've been there before. Trust me, don't waste your damn time just stressing about it. This too shall pass onward and upward, and so that lightens your load on a stress level, and you tend to wake up happier and more fulfilled and just knowing that everything is gonna be all right. That kind of talk sounds calm and mature, like someone trying to lower the temperature instead of heating it up. But here is where everything splits wide open. One side frames the moment as emotional humiliation and long-standing family hurt. The other side says it was just messy timing and confusion under bright lights. Same night, same stage, completely different stories. And when the public cannot lock in on one clear truth, it stops being about facts and starts turning into loyalty battles and personal bias. Who do people believe more, Brooklyn and Nicola Peltz, or the Beckham family's defense? Marc Anthony's position in all this is sensitive. He is not just a random celebrity passing through. He has been close to David and Victoria for years, even serving as godfather to Cruz Beckham. That bond gives his words serious weight.
And Sir David Beckham has been questioned about Brooklyn's 6-page statement saying he doesn't want to reconcile.
Yet his recent comments feel careful, almost strategic, like he knows one wrong sentence could shake the Beckham brand all over again. Marc Anthony has been moving carefully, almost like he is walking on thin ice. He keeps dodging direct questions about the wedding, refuses to pick a side, and avoids breaking down the exact moment that sparked all the noise. But even without calling anyone out by name, his words land sharp. He described the entire dispute as extremely unfortunate, and then followed it with a statement that made people pause. He said the version being pushed publicly is hardly the truth. That sounds calm on the surface, but it is a quiet bombshell. It shakes the storyline that has been spreading across social media and headlines for months. When someone that close to the situation hints that the public is missing key details, it changes the energy fast. It suggests there is a whole layer of context nobody has seen yet. What exactly is missing from the picture? That is the big question. Maybe it supports Brooklyn. Maybe it protects his parents, or maybe it exposes a messy misunderstanding that spiraled out of control. Right now, nobody knows. But one thing is clear, Marc Anthony stepping forward proves the headlines are only showing the surface. There is more happening behind the scenes of the Beckham family drama than people realise. And this feud did not stop at the wedding dance. Brooklyn's long statement went far beyond that single night. He shifted the focus to deeper issues, talking about control, identity, and wanting the freedom to live life on his own terms. Then came the claim that really stunned people. He said that before the wedding, there was pressure to sign over rights connected to his name. According to him, that decision could have affected not just him, but Nicola and even their future children. That is serious. Suddenly, the story is not just about embarrassment at a reception. It becomes about independence, ownership, and power within one of the most famous families in the world. Brooklyn hinted that what he calls brand Beckham sometimes takes priority over real family well-being. Whether that is an objective fact or simply how he feels, it completely raises the emotional stakes. It reframes him not as a spoiled son caught in drama, but as a grown man trying to step out from under a global image that feels larger than his own identity. That is a powerful shift in perspective. This is the point where the story stops being about one awkward wedding dance and turns into something much deeper. Now it looks like a full-blown identity clash. The tension moves away from a simple misunderstanding and into a debate about what family truly means. One side appears focused on legacy, reputation, and protecting that polished, picture-perfect unity the world recognizes. The other side is pushing for independence, breathing room, and the freedom to define life on their own terms. When you frame it like that, a quick reunion does not seem so simple anymore. It is no longer about who stepped onto the stage first. It becomes about values and beliefs. Each side may genuinely see family through a different lens, and that is where the real sting sets in. When core views do not line up, even small moments can explode into major turning points. Then the circle widened. More voices stepped into the spotlight, including Nicola's father, billionaire businessman Nelson Peltz. He publicly supported the couple, offering praise for both Nicola and Brooklyn. His tone stayed positive and measured. He did not directly criticize the Beckhams, but the message still carried weight. His backing signaled that Brooklyn and Nicola were not standing alone, and that added another serious layer to this already complicated family saga. That kind of backing is not just emotional support, it is strategic power. It shows Brooklyn now has an entirely new heavyweight family in his corner, and let's be real, the Beckham circle is still a giant force on its own, with deep ties in entertainment, fashion, sports, and even political spaces. When you move in circles like that, public perception is never random. It is shaped, monitored, and amplified with precision. In those elite networks, small whispers can quickly grow into front-page headlines. Private disagreements can turn into global talking points overnight. That level of exposure adds serious pressure. Every gesture gets analysed, every post gets decoded. Under that spotlight, fixing things quietly becomes almost impossible because the world is watching in real time. Then 2025 brought another headline moment, the vow renewal. On the surface, it should have been simple, a celebration of love and commitment. But one detail said everything without a single speech. The Beckhams were not there. That absence was not subtle, it felt symbolic. When a family that famous is missing from such a major event, people notice immediately. Vow renewals usually signal strength and unity, a fresh chapter built on deeper love.
It's just been absolutely unbelievable. It's a different time in my life where I'm really taking it on and finally enjoying.
But this one seemed to send a different message. Holding that ceremony without the Beckham family present looked less like healing and more like distance. It hinted that this situation might not be a temporary fallout. It could be a full reset of what family means to Brooklyn and Nicola. And once social media caught wind of it, the reaction was instant and intense. Posts spread fast, opinions flooded in, and the debate reignited. Instead of calming things down, the renewal drew a new line in the sand, and the public started picking sides all over again. Marc Anthony, whether he planned it or not, suddenly became the viral centre of the storm. Memes flooded every platform, joking about his role in that now infamous wedding dance and casting him as an unexpected main character in the Beckham drama. The internet lit up fast. From loyal fans to gossip bloggers, everybody had something to say. His name was everywhere, trending alongside the family tension. Before long, the conversation shifted. It was no longer just about heartbreak or hurt feelings. It turned into a loud debate about wedding rules and respect. Was it appropriate for a mother to step into the first dance moment? Should a performer invite family members on stage during such a personal part of the night? Suddenly, millions of people felt like etiquette experts. Every tiny detail got picked apart by influencers, commentators, and tabloids hungry for the next angle. The situation spiraled into a non-stop reaction cycle. One comment sparked another headline. One post triggered a wave of think pieces. It became a loop, where each response only pushed the story further. That shift changed the scale completely. What began as a private family issue transformed into a full-blown public spectacle. Now the focus is not just on emotions, it is about reputation, branding, and who controls the narrative. In high-profile families, image is currency, and once that image starts cracking, the whole world watches closely. The Beckham saga has grown bigger than the individuals involved. It has turned into a cultural flashpoint, making people question how much of celebrity family life should ever play out online. Once social media grabbed hold of the story, it exploded beyond one household. It went global in seconds. And right in the middle of that digital storm stood Marc Anthony, caught between loyalty, headlines, and a narrative spinning at full speed. His name, his quotes, even the most beautiful woman in the room comment got clipped, memed, and replayed non-stop across every platform. What was once supposed to be a soft, romantic wedding memory turned into a full-blown viral circus. Marc did not plan to be the headline, but suddenly he was both the punchline and the unexpected plot twist in a drama that refused to cool off. The internet showed zero mercy. The conversation heated up fast. It became a fiery back and forth about respect, loyalty, and personal boundaries. Was it acceptable for a mother to step into her son's first dance? Or did Marc cross a line as the performer by calling her out in that moment? Social media detectives went frame by frame, analysing every look, every lyric, every reaction on stage. Influencers built entire breakdowns. Media outlets pushed bold angles. Everyone wanted to decode what really happened. What started as a private misunderstanding inside one powerful family evolved into a global spectacle where millions felt invited to judge. Now the story runs on two tracks at the same time. Behind closed doors, there is the emotional strain of a family dealing with distance and tension. Online, there is a non-stop reputation battle that keeps refreshing itself with every new post. Brooklyn's hurt, Victoria's calm composure, and Marc's carefully chosen words are all being examined, reshaped, and recycled until the lines between fact and opinion start to blur. At this point, the drama is not just living in real life. It is living on screens everywhere, and it does not look like it is fading anytime soon. As the noise keeps growing, insiders are quietly hinting that conversations are still happening behind closed doors. Nothing flashy, no public statements, just careful talks happening away from cameras. That alone says a lot. When families this powerful go silent at the same time, it usually means something serious is being handled in private. At the same time, body language experts, PR analysts, and celebrity commentators are dissecting every public appearance. Who stands next to who posts what, who avoids certain names. Every move feels strategic now. Even a simple Instagram caption can spark fresh rumours in seconds. That is the pressure of living inside a global spotlight. What makes this even more intense is that both sides have massive influence. The Beckhams are a brand built over decades. Brooklyn and Nicola are building their own lane, backed by another powerful family name. This is not just emotional, it is legacy versus independence playing out in real time. That tension is hard to smooth over overnight. Marc Anthony's careful wording still hangs in the air. When he said the public version is hardly the truth, he planted a seed of doubt that refuses to disappear. People are now questioning everything they thought they understood. Was it a simple misunderstanding? Was it deeper control issues? Or was it a perfect storm of ego, timing, and pressure? One thing is clear. This story is no longer just about a wedding dance. It is about identity, loyalty, power, and who gets to shape the narrative moving forward. And until someone breaks the silence with undeniable clarity, the speculation machine is going to keep running full speed. As months pass, the silence between public appearances speaks louder than any interview. No joint photos, no warm family captions, no casual sightings that calm the rumours. In celebrity culture, absence is a statement. When people who once looked inseparable suddenly move like separate brands, fans notice immediately. There is also the business side that no one can ignore. The Beckham name is not just personal, it is commercial. Fashion deals, brand partnerships, global campaigns, all tied to a polished image of unity and success. When cracks show, investors and partners pay attention. That adds another layer of pressure behind the scenes. This is not just emotional tension, it is high-stakes image management. At the same time, Brooklyn and Nicola appear focused on building their own identity. New projects, new appearances, carefully curated posts that highlight independence. The message feels subtle but clear. They are stepping into their own spotlight. And when two powerful narratives grow in opposite directions, the distance becomes harder to close. Marc Anthony remains the wild card in all of this. He has not doubled down. He has not backtracked. He simply let his earlier comments sit there, unresolved. That silence keeps the mystery alive. When someone that connected refuses to clarify, it leaves room for endless interpretation. The public keeps asking the same question. Is reconciliation possible? Or has the line already been drawn? Family conflicts can heal, but only if both sides want the same outcome. Right now, it feels like two visions of family are standing face to face, each convinced they are right. And until there is a genuine moment of unity that cannot be questioned, this story will continue to evolve, headline by headline, post by post, with the world watching every move. At this stage, the drama is no longer just about who stepped onto a dance floor. It has turned into a case study in modern celebrity life. Every private emotion now lives in a public arena. Every family disagreement risks becoming trending content. That kind of exposure changes how people react, how they speak, and even how they forgive. Nothing happens in a vacuum when millions are watching. What makes this saga even more intense is the generational shift. David and Victoria built their empire in an era where image was controlled through magazines and interviews. Brooklyn and Nicola live in the age of instant posts, live stories, and direct-to-fan messages. That difference matters. One side is used to polish control. The other side moves in real time, raw and unfiltered. When those styles clash, misunderstandings can grow fast. There is also the emotional weight of legacy. For David and Victoria, the family brand represents decades of work, discipline, and global respect. For Brooklyn, carving out independence might feel like survival, not rebellion. Both perspectives can exist at the same time, and that is what makes this situation so layered. It is not simply right versus wrong. Meanwhile, the public keeps refreshing their feeds, waiting for a breakthrough moment, a shared photo, a public hug, a clear statement that resets the narrative. Until that happens, speculation fills the gap. Comment sections turn into debate arenas. Every subtle move becomes a headline. The truth is, behind all the viral clips and dramatic takes, this is still a family navigating pressure at an extreme level. And when pride, love, power, and public image collide, the outcome is never simple. One thing is certain though, this story has already changed how people see the Beckham dynasty, and the final chapter has not been written yet. At this point, the silence between certain family members feels louder than any public statement. No clear denials, no detailed explanations, just carefully chosen words and long pauses. In the world of celebrity, silence can be strategy. It can mean damage control, legal caution, or simply waiting for the storm to pass. But when emotions are already high, that quiet space only gives the internet more room to speculate. There is also the question of loyalty. Friends of the family have stayed mostly neutral in public, but behind the scenes, people are choosing where they stand. In elite circles, alliances matter. One invite, one appearance, one visible show of support can send a powerful message. And when those signals start shifting, fans notice immediately. Brooklyn and Nicola seem determined to protect their peace and build forward. Their public vibe looks intentional, focused, and united. On the other side, David and Victoria continue showing strength and composure, keeping their brand polished and steady. Both sides appear calm on the surface, but calm does not always mean resolved. Sometimes it just means controlled. Marc Anthony's role still lingers like an unanswered question. He did not ignite the drama, but his presence in that key moment made him part of the storyline forever. And when he hinted that the public version is incomplete, he cracked the door open just enough to keep curiosity alive. That one sentence keeps echoing. The biggest twist in all of this is how one night created ripple effects that touch careers, reputations, and family bonds. A single stage moment turned into a global conversation about respect, power, and independence. And until there is a clear united front or a direct explanation that settles the tension, this saga will keep evolving, one headline at a time. What makes this situation even more intense is the long-term impact. Family rifts in private are hard enough. Family rifts under global attention can leave scars that last for years. Every interview from now on will carry subtext. Every public celebration will spark one big question. Who showed up and who did not? That kind of tension does not fade easily. There is also the reality that time changes people. Brooklyn is not a teenager living under his parents' roof anymore. He is married, building his own household, shaping his own future. That natural shift alone can create friction in any family. Add fame, money, legacy, and public scrutiny, and the pressure multiplies fast. What might have been a small disagreement in another family becomes international news here. At the same time, David and Victoria have spent decades protecting their image with precision. They survived media storms before and came out stronger. That history makes many believe they will handle this carefully, strategically, and with patience. They know how narratives work, they understand timing, and they rarely move without thinking 3 steps ahead. The real tension now is about pride and perspective. Does someone step forward first? Does anyone publicly apologize? Or do they let time quietly soften the edges? In high-profile families, even a small gesture can send a massive signal. One shared holiday photo could calm everything. One icy interview could ignite it again. And through it all, Marc Anthony's comment still floats in the background. That reminder that the public story may not be the full story. That hint keeps curiosity alive and stops the drama from fully cooling off. This is no longer just about a wedding memory. It is about legacy, independence, loyalty, and the power of perception. And until those pieces align, the world will keep watching closely, waiting for the next move in a saga that refuses to end quietly. The feud is no longer living behind closed doors. It has stepped onto the world stage and turned into a daily spectacle judged by millions. What once felt like a private family issue is now content, commentary, and constant debate. Marc's subtle pushback against the public version of events flipped the energy completely. When he hinted that the story out there is not the full truth, he blurred the line between fact and perception. Now, it is almost impossible for anyone to choose a side with total confidence. This is not just a family disagreement anymore. It is a battle over who controls the narrative. Every quote, every pause, every carefully posted photo adds another layer to the tension. Brooklyn keeps his distance, building his own path, while David and Victoria maintain their calm, polished image like nothing is cracking. On the surface, everything looks composed. Underneath, the clash between independence and legacy still simmers quietly, unresolved and very real. What started as one wedding dance has evolved into a defining, cultural moment. It is bigger than one night, bigger than one comment. It is about identity, power, loyalty, and how fame magnifies every emotion. And the truth is, this story may never get a clean ending. If you have been following this wild saga from the start, make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Whose side are you on and why? Let's talk about it.